Have you ever bought your dog a toy that they were obsessed with for about 5 minutes and then they completely ignored it? That's exactly why I wanted to test this treat dispensing toy that was sent to me from our good friends at Knitly, because keeping a smart, energetic dog mentally occupied can be just as important as physical exercise. I'm trying this with my dog Josie. She's 18 months old and weighs about 20 pounds, and she's at that age where she's curious about absolutely everything. If there's a way to turn snack time into a game, she's all in. The first thing that I noticed that there's no setup and no batteries required. You simply just twist the toy open, put your dog's kibble or small dry treats, adjust the openings on both sides, and then close it back up and then hand it to your dog. That's it. One feature that I do like is that you can actually control how difficult it is. So if your dog has never used this before, you can make the openings larger so that the treats come out more easy. As they get better at figuring it out, you can make the openings smaller so they have to work a little harder for it. And I think that's a nice feature because every dog learns at a different pace. So watching Josie actually use it was entertaining. Instead of her just inhaling treats, after a few seconds, she did have to push it around with her nose, roll it around the floor, and chase after it and keep working at it until another treat came out. So you can really see them thinking it through, thinking the problems through instead of just eating. If your dog tends to scarf down their food, this can also tend to slow them down as a slow feeder. It feeds them one piece at a time instead of finishing the whole bowl in a minute or two. So depending on how challenging you make it and what treats you use, it can keep them engaged for quite a while. The toy itself feels very sturdy. It's made from rigid food grade nylon, and for a dog Josie's size, it feels like it'll hold up well. I do want to mention that the manufacturer doesn't recommend it for very large dogs that are aggressive chewers, and I think that's an important distinction, that this isn't meant to be a heavy duty chew toy. It's designed to be a puzzle that rewards your dog for problem solving. Another thing that I like is that it works with different types of dry treats. So you can use kibble, training treats, some of the smaller dental treats as they figure out the openings, and that gives you a lot of flexibility depending on what your dog already eats. One little tip that I'd recommend is starting with something that your dog really loves when they're first learning how the toy works, because using a high value treat helps them understand the game, and it makes it a little bit more interesting instead of them ignoring it. Cleaning it is also very simple. So there's just two halves that twist apart. You can rinse everything out. You can also put it on the top rack of the dishwasher. It is dishwasher safe on the top rack, so dogs can get messy every time. I like that it encourages independent play. So when you're working at home, answering emails, and maybe you're tied up, it gives them something that both their brain and body can engage with, and it's enriching rather than just giving them another treat. Overall, I think that this is a fun enrichment toy, especially for puppies or young dogs like Josie. It allows them to figure it out and turns ordinary treats into an activity instead of something that's just gone in a second. If you're looking for an inexpensive way that adds a little bit more mental stimulation to your dog's day, I think that this is worth checking out. I will mention that my dog Josie is probably the only dog of my dogs that is going to be able to use this, because my dogs are all 5 to 8 pounds. So I don't know that this is going to be a treat dispenser that they're going to be able to use, but for small dogs that are on the larger of the small side, up to 60 pounds is what this toy is recommended for. I definitely think you should check it out.